A lot of popular business advice sounds smart on Instagram and completely breaks down when you're actually running a real business in a real company, especially if you're already at $500,000, $1 million, or $2 million and beyond, and your business still needs you in every decision, in every fire, and in every exception. So today I'm going to walk you through 4 pieces of advice successful founders hear all the time, from incomplete but fixable to please do not do this because it can make your business heavier and worse off, more expensive, and more dependent on you. All right, let's go. If we have not met, I am Dr. Shannon Irvine. I have been a business owner for over 20 years. I'm the author of the best-selling book, The 67-Day Year, and I help established founders build self-scaling businesses that can grow without the owner being glued to the day-to-day, email, and every decision. If you have hired, documented, automated, trained, and tried to delegate, and you still feel like the backup brain of the business, this video will show you why. And more importantly, I will show you what to do instead. So let's start with bad advice number 1. Automate everything. Thank you, AI. This is probably the loudest advice in business right now, especially with all these AI companies. And to be clear, I am pro AI. I use AI. My clients use AI. But AI on top of a broken process does not create freedom. It creates faster breakdowns. So why do people believe this? It sounds logical, right? You're overwhelmed. Your team is doing repetitive work. AI promises speed, savings, scale. So you think, I can just automate this. I can finally get myself out of the middle. So why does this advice fail in real businesses? The problem is that most business owners automate before they understand the actual workflow. So now, instead of one messy process, you have one messy process plus a tool you have to check, manage, troubleshoot, and second guess all the time. Every task turns into did AI do this right? Did I miss something? Is someone need to check this? Who owns it when AI gets it wrong? You did not remove any work. You created AI quality control. We're seeing this in big businesses too. McDonald's tested AI drive-through ordering and ended the test after the system produced viral ordering mistakes, including things like bacon on ice cream and huge incorrect McNugget orders. Taco Bell rolled AI voice into hundreds of drive-thrus and then had to reconsider where and how the technology should actually be used after glitches and customer frustration. Klarna went hard into AI and customer service and started bringing back human support because customers still needed judgment, nuance, and quality. The lesson is not that AI is bad and doesn't work. The lesson is that AI cannot replace an operating system. So what do you do instead? Use AI as the assistant, not the operator. The order should be run the workflow manually, then make sure that the steps are clear, identify the decision points, prove the process works first, right? Then use AI to remove the repetitive parts. AI should support a proven system. It should not become the system. Automation is a multiplier. If your process is clean, it multiplies speed. If your process is broken or messy, it multiplies more confusion. All right. So bad advice number 2, just hire more people. This one sounds super responsible because when you're drowning, more people feels like relief and capacity. But hiring into chaos is one of the best ways to make your business more expensive without it being more scalable. So why do people believe this one? Well, you're overloaded, your team is maxed out, things are falling through the cracks. So the obvious answer seems to be we need another person. And for the first 30 to 60 days, it might even feel like a little relief. But why does this fail in real businesses? Reality hits, right? You hire someone at 50, 60, 70K. They need onboarding. They need management. They need context. They need to know what good looks like. But because the system was never clear, all of those decisions come back to you. And now you are not doing the work anymore. You are managing people doing unclear work. That is still operations. It's just a more expensive layer of operations. This is why founders will tell me, I hired the person, but somehow I'm still busier. That's because they did not hire into a system. They hired into a mess, into chaos. So what do you do instead? Systemize first, then hire into a system. Before you make that hire, define what outcome does this role own? What steps create that outcome? What real KPI or number tells us if it's working? What decisions can they make without me? Then the job is not help me with everything. Got to be careful of that, right? The job is run the system, own this result. Hiring before systems creates helpers. Hiring after systems creates owners. So bad advice number 3, I hear it all the time. It's document everything. This one sounds super smart, right? That most business owners don't even question it. But a documented business and a self-scaling business are not the same thing. Now, why do we believe it? See, documentation feels productive. It feels concrete. It feels like you're finally getting everything out of your head, right? You have the SOPs, the looms, the folders, the checklists. On paper, it looks like operations are getting better. So why does it fail? It really fails in real businesses because here's what usually happens. Week 1, everybody follows that SOP. Week 2, exceptions start showing up. Week 3, someone has a question that the documents don't answer. Week 4, it's easier for the team to just ask you. And 6 months later, that beautiful SOP folder has become a digital graveyard full of good intentions that nobody visits. Heartbreaking, right? So here's the test. If your system requires someone to remember the document, find the document, interpret the document, and decide how to apply the document, your business still depends on human memory and your judgment. That is not a system. That is documentation with extra steps. So what do we do instead? Do not document everything. Document the few workflows that actually either drive revenue, client results, and team ownership and getting your time back. Then build those workflows into the tools the team already uses. So an example of this is instead of a 12-page onboarding SOP, build a checklist inside of Monday or Asana, right? Instead of a document explaining follow-up, trigger the follow-up automatically. Instead of asking the team to remember exception rules, create a if then that decision rule matrix. The goal is not more documents. The goal is making the right behavior the easiest behavior for them to do. Documentation tells people what to do. Systems make the right next step obvious. Bad advice number 4, hire a COO so you can finally focus on vision and get things off your plate. This might be the most expensive version of trying to buy your way out of a system problem. It sounds like the grown-up move. That's why people believe it. It feels like a real scaled company would do this, right? You're tired of being in operations. So you think, I need an experienced operator to come in and take this off my plate. So why does this fail in real businesses? A strong COO can cost 150, 250 a year. And if you're at 1 or 2 million, that's a massive slice of the business. But the bigger issue is this. If you do not have clear systems, that COO is not stepping into an engine. They're stepping into fog. So they'll spend months trying to figure out how the business works. What's in your head? What's broken? What should be rebuilt? And while they're doing that, you are still needed for everything, all the biggest decisions. So now you have not replaced yourself. You've added a very expensive person to help interpret the business. A COO can run the machine, but if there is no machine yet, they either have to build one from scratch or keep coming back to you to understand how is this supposed to work. All right, I hear you. What do I do instead, Shannon? Build the plane before you hire the pilot. Before hiring a COO, map the 3 to 5 core flows of the business. How do customers come in? How do customers get onboarded? How do you deliver what you promised? How does the team own weekly outcomes? How does the business review numbers and make decisions? Run those systems for 1 or 2 cycles. Fix the obvious gaps, then hire an operator to run what already works. That person doesn't need to invent the business. They need to execute, optimize, and manage a system that already exists. So if automation is not the first move, if hiring is not the first move, if documentation is not the first move, and a COO is not the first move, then Shannon, what is it? So the first move is installing the 3 systems everything else depends on. So system 1 is your CEO system. This is how you run the business from a calendar, from a dashboard, and from a weekly leadership rhythm instead of running it from Slack, email, firefighting, and interruptions. System 2 is your team system. This is how every critical outcome gets a clear owner, a simple number, and decision rules so that everything does not bounce back to you. System 3 is your profit scaling system. This is how your business grows through a repeatable revenue path, a simple scorecard, and a focused 90-day execution instead of random pushes, launches, and constant founder effort. So why does this solve those traps? Once those 3 systems exist, AI has a clean workflow to support. New hires have a clear role to step into. Documentation has an operating rhythm attached to it. An operator has something proven to run. Without those 3 systems, every piece of good advice becomes way heavier than it should be. The issue is not that AI, hiring SOPs, or COOs are bad. The issue is sequence. Systems first, then tools, then people, then scale. Makes sense, right? So if you're watching this and you're thinking, this is exactly why my business feels so heavy and heavier than it should. So your next step is not another random tactic. Your next step is to diagnose which of these three systems is missing or broken right now. That is why I created the Self-Scaling Business Diagnostic. It's a free live workshop where we score your CEO system, your team system, and your profit system so you can see exactly where the business is still depending on you. Then we map the next 90-day focus so you know what to fix first to start getting your time back without slowing revenue. Finally, right? So click the link below this video and register for my next live self-scaling business diagnostic. I'll walk you through the framework personally there. And if you want to keep learning how to build a business that can scale without depending on you for every decision, click this next video and I will show you the next piece of the Scaled CEO operating system. All right, hide from that bad advice and go build a self-scaling business. I'll see you on the live diagnostic. Bye for now.